10 totally normal things that are banned in North Korea. Talking bad about the government. The regime under the leadership of the ruling Kim family tightly controls freedom of expression, and dissent or criticism of the government is considered a serious offense. Engaging in any form of anti-government speech, whether in private conversations, internet, or public forums, can lead to severe consequences, including imprisonment, forced labor, or even execution. The government employs a pervasive system of surveillance, and citizens are often reluctant to express dissenting opinions due to the fear of retribution. Leaving the country. The government maintains strict restrictions on international travel to prevent defection. Traveling abroad requires special permissions, and only a select few, often trusted government officials or individuals on official state business, are granted the opportunity to leave the country. The vast majority of North Koreans face severe restrictions on their movement, reinforcing the isolationist policies of the government and limiting citizens' exposure to the outside world. Attempting to leave without proper authorization can lead to severe consequences. Making international phone calls. The government exercises strict control over telecommunications to curb the flow of external information and maintain a closed environment. Making international calls is a complex process for civilians, involving extensive scrutiny and potential hurdles. The authorities closely monitor conversations, ensuring they line up with the government's narrative. This severe restriction over transmission channels reinforces the regime's isolationist policies, limiting citizens' exposure to external perspectives and maintaining a tight grip on the flow of information within the country. Using the internet. The internet is heavily restricted for civilians, reflecting the government's tight control over information. The majority of citizens have no access to the global internet. Instead, they are limited to a domestic intranet. This intranet offers a curated choice of government-approved content, isolating North Koreans from the outside world. The strict censorship aims to maintain ideological conformity, preventing citizens from accessing alternative perspectives or information that contradict the official narrative, thereby reinforcing the regime's authority. Smiling on July 8th. This date marks the anniversary of the birth of the former leader, a highly revered figure in the country. On this day, citizens are expected to display unwavering loyalty and reverence, and any genuine expressions of happiness or discontent can be viewed with suspicion. The regime encourages public displays of allegiance, and failure to conform to the expected demeanor on this occasion may result in severe consequences, emphasizing the pervasive control over citizens' behavior. The capital of North Korea. Accessing the capital of North Korea is tightly controlled by the government. Citizens need special permits to enter the capital, and the criteria for obtaining these permits are strict. The government employs this measure to manage population movements, maintain social order, and prevent unauthorized residence in the capital. Such restrictions regulate citizens' ability to freely visit the capital, reinforcing the government's centralized control over internal relocation and access to key political and economic centers within the country. Driving a car in North Korea. In North Korea, driving is a heavily regulated activity, reflecting the government's control over citizens' mobility. Private car ownership is limited, primarily accessible to the elite or those with political favor. The majority relies on public transportation, subject to government schedules. Long-distance travel necessitates official permission, further restricting movement. Strict driving regulations, coupled with the influence of political loyalty, determine who can operate vehicles. Watching television. In North Korea, the government strictly controls access to foreign TV channels and movies. State-run media dominates the broadcasting landscape, disseminating propaganda and promoting government narratives. Television and film content are carefully curated to align with the regime's ideology, emphasizing loyalty to the ruling leadership. Access to foreign TV channels is heavily restricted, with only a select few having authorization. The government aims to limit exposure to external influences and ideas that may challenge its authority. Choosing your job. The process of choosing a job is often influenced by the government's centralized planning and control over the economy. Citizens do not have the freedom to select their occupation freely, as the state typically assigns jobs based on factors such as education, skills, and the perceived needs of the economy. The government aims to match individuals with positions that align with its economic and political strategies. Choosing a new haircut. Even the choice of getting a new haircut in North Korea is subject to government politics. The state promotes specific hairstyle options deemed acceptable, and citizens are forced to choose from a limited list of approved styles. Men and women often face restrictions on hair length, and certain hairstyles are associated with political or social affiliations. Hair salons are expected to adhere to these regulations, reinforcing the government's domination over personal expression.